Okay, alright, hello YouTube. What we're going to be doing today is going to be showing you how to find PlayStation Portable ISOs and the PlayStation Portable Emulator. What you're going to go ahead and do is pull up your browser or what have you, and pull up your browser. That could be a Google Chrome, whatever you use to surf the web. Now what you're going to go ahead and do is pull up a new tab real quick. I mean, unless you already know where to get them, this tutorial is probably going to be not helpful. Wait for very slow internet. Okay, and what you're gonna go ahead and do is go to Emulator. They're pretty fast and efficient and very user friendly when it comes to searching for things, and there's no ads or none of that crazy stuff like other sites. It's pretty much straightforward. There's your file, and very straightforward. Internet's being absolutely horrible, so just give it a minute. But anyway, you'll come to a web page that looks roughly like this. This is when you're on a game page, but you'll pull up the game page, and for example, this is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and you want to go ahead and find the ISO that is within your language. So I'm speaking English, obviously, so I'd be USA, right, or whatever language you'd prefer it in. And you'll go ahead and go right down to this direct download part. It'll be in this orange. It'll tell you the file size, so in case you're using a Android or don't have a whole lot of space, it'll tell you, so you can go ahead and prepare for that. And once you click this, it'll probably bring you into another window, load up a whole new page, and it'll be pretty much the same thing. And what you'll do is you'll just scroll down and you'll click that, and it should bring up your file size, right, or your file itself. And that didn't download correctly, so we're gonna go ahead and use something else for an example. So once it downloads, you'll find it in your download sections or wherever you downloaded it to, and that'll be your ISO, that'll be your game. And for people who don't know what an ISO is, it's basically a disk image of the disk. And you'll just go to the site for whatever emulator. This is pretty much the same process for any other uh, game or whatever. You'll go up here. These will be your ISOs or ROMs, and you can find ROMs, ISOs for whatever system you're looking for. PSX. Those will be the games. And for the emulator, you'll go ahead and be looking for PSP emulator for this example, and you can find all the rest of your emulators right there for pretty much any system. Pretty much any system, virtually. Go ahead and go to PSP emulators. Now, Paradise is really nice because it'll ask you which game you want to support it on, and it'll show you the supported formats that they have emulators for. And you can also emulate games on your Android. I believe it's the same program as PPSSPP, and I highly recommend this one right here, PPSSPP, because it's very user friendly, really easy to use. And you'll go ahead and click download, and should pull down in the download window right there for you. Please excuse my poor internet. But yeah, once that downloads, it'll pop up right there if you're using Google Chrome, and you go ahead and click show in folder if you know how to do that, or look for wherever you downloaded it to. Then it'll be right there. My internet's a little slow, so it's not right there, and it'll most likely be in this type of file category. And what you'll go ahead and do is right click on the file and extract. You're going to extract the ISO with whatever program you use. Sometimes it prefers you to use WinRAR, sometimes it prefers you to use 7-zip. And if you don't know how to get 7-zip, you literally just go to Google real quick. I'll show you guys where to get 7-zip, it's relatively easy. But for those who are fresh to this whole process, internet is excruciatingly poor. Okay, so I'll wait for that to load up in a minute. And I already have it extracted, so your final thing will look roughly like this. It'll look like that. You'll open it up and it'll have all this. You know, it has the memory stick right there. You can put all your games right there, or the file sizes. The save files for your games. And that'll be how to execute the program. And I already have it running. So, and with those ISOs, I made another video on where to put them. You'll go ahead and put them right in here. There's another video I made that explains how to extract them and put them right here so that the PlayStation Portable emulator will find them. And this is on Windows 7, so it may be a little bit different for an Android or Mac user. And you'll go ahead and start up the program, and you'll come to something that looks like, let me go ahead and stop this game real quick. You'll come to something that looks roughly like this. You know, I'll go ahead and just start up the program so you can see what it looks like. You know, created by Henrik. And it's pretty cool. I recommend PPSSPP for anybody because it just looks nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. You know, you got the PlayStation buttons in the background floating. It just looks really nice, and I recommend it to anyone. And they also have this program available for Android users, so if your phone is capable and it has good specs, I'm pretty sure you could play one of these games on your Android on the go. And you'll go ahead and go to games, and what you'll go ahead and do is you'll click browse, and what you're going to do is you're going to find the folder that you put all your games in. And I go ahead and I put them within the emulator so that the emulator can find them easier. And you'll go ahead and click that as your folder, and as you can see, those are all your games. And that'll be the folder for where it identifies all of your games and stuff. And these are the games I have so far, and it should pop up a little preview picture of whatever game you wanted. And for an example, you just literally click on one of these games real quick, and everything goes well. You should be seeing a screen that looks like this. And there you have it. There's your game. Sometimes my computer can be a little slow, so it runs at some poor speed sometimes. Also because I'm running a bunch of programs at the moment. But yeah, you're eventually you'll come to this screen like this, which will be your game. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are wondering, oh, well, how do I use a controller, or how do I hook up the controls? And what you'll go to is you'll mess with these game settings real quick, and you'll go to control mapping. And it's pretty straightforward. You'll click this and be like, okay, I want that to be this button, or this button to be that button. If you're using your keyboard, you can just type them to your keyboard, like to move up, W, to move down would be S, left, A, right, D. And you can also use PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 controllers, or Xbox 360, whatever controller you can hook up via USB to your computer. And right now, currently, I have a PlayStation 4 controller hooked up, so you could just press the buttons corresponding to the controller. And Windows, if you're using Windows, you should be able to about plug in the controller with a USB cable, and it should just work just fine. And that's pretty much everything you need to know to go ahead and get started. And Recent tab will show you what you recently played. For more expert users, they can go ahead and mess with the window sizes or rendering. And I recommend, if it isn't quite running properly on your computer, if something's messed up, I'd mess around with a few of these settings. The best settings that work for me would be off for the textures and the BRZ and the textures, and for the most part it should work if you have a pretty decent computer. But for the most part, if it doesn't work, just try messing with the settings a little bit, or maybe make the window size not large, and that should pretty much help you out. And there's a really cool thing about emulators is you can save your game literally anywhere, like anywhere in the game. You don't have to go to the save point or nothing. It'll be a save state, so you can let's we'll use obscure for an example, because I know I have a save part in there. You can go ahead and click load state file, and it should just pull you right here, and you just find out where you put that, and I think it's like right here-ish, and there you go. You just go right where you last left off, and I chose to choose at the credits because I had some issues, and that should be pretty much it.